On this week's show, I have Zoe Mulford. She's been recognized by Folk Alliance International for a song about the President's compassion. Stick around. Welcome to Charlie's Open Mic. My name is Charlie Mosbrook. On this week's show, I have Zoe Mulford. She wrote a song called The President Sang Amazing Grace. That song has been recognized by Folk Alliance International as the Song of the Year in 2018. Joan Baez has covered the song. Kronos Quartet has done it. So we're going to talk to her. But first, let's listen to her sing.
There is an end to everything. The breath we take and the songs we sing, and the last note rings and dies away, but the song stays sung till the end of days, and all we do may be undone, but love stays loved and song stays sung. Love stays loved and song stays sung. And astronomers could never chart the constellations of the heart, for lovers part and lovers pine, but the love stays loved till the end of time. And all we do may be undone, but love stays loved and song stays sung. Love stays loved and song stays sung. And every life is a brief bright spark that dies and seems to leave no mark. So we curse the dark and we mourn the flame, but the things it showed us still remain. And all we do may be undone, but love stays loved and song stays sung. Love stays loved and song stays sung.
And I've been told that we are made of dust cast off when stars decayed, and the bodies fade that once were ours, but the dust goes on to make new stars. And all we do may be undone, but love stays loved and song stays sung. Love stays loved and song stays sung.
How are you doing?
I'm just fine, Charlie. Thank you for having me.
You bet. It's really good to have you here. You're actually not here. You're in England right now.
I am. I live in Manchester, England. It's very interesting coming through this time when every place is just about equally far from every other place. I mean, I have to deal with time zones, but it's kind of like being able to teleport. I'm playing all over the place, just sitting in my living room. It's very strange.
It's strange. It's kind of an exciting time in that regard. I love that my audiences can be in England or Tacoma or wherever they are. And How long have you been in England?
We moved here in 2006. Yeah, this has been going on for a long time, and until everything shut down, I was going back and forth a good deal, traveling around the U.S. and playing a lot in the U.S. I think I still have more audience and more interest in the U.S. than I do in the U.K.
Okay.
Though I've met a lot of very lovely people in the U.K. When I first started playing in English folk clubs, my approach to performing changed. I like to think it got better. So I've learned a lot since I've been here.
And you're originally from Pennsylvania? Did you
I
spend a lot of
grew up
time there?
I grew up in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania,
Uh-huh.
a little Quaker town in the outskirts of Philadelphia.
And then later in life, you moved to North Carolina?
Yeah, when I was first out of college, I spent 12 years in North Carolina with the person who is now my spouse. That was quite an education. Basically, since we've been together, I've just been following him around and being wherever he needed to be. And every place we go, I meet a whole lot of wonderful musicians and learn a lot of new stuff. So it's a pretty good life.
At what age did you begin songwriting?
About as soon as I could reach the piano keys. I grew up in a house where people made music, and I made up songs the way every little kid makes up songs, and I think just nobody stopped me.
Okay.
I credit Mr. Rogers as one of my early influences because the grown-ups in my household were listening to classical music and Gilbert and Sullivan and everything on Broadway, and it was all really great music, and it was not music that I could create myself. But Mr. Rogers would sit down and he had something that he wanted to say to you right now today, and it
Hmm.
would be very simple and it would have a nice little tune, and I could do that. It still seems to be one of the best ways to write a song is to have somebody specific to whom you want to say something right now today.
That's a good piece of advice for new songwriters watching right now. So you're a banjo player. Is that your primary instrument?
My I think my primary instrument is still the guitar,
Hmm.
or really my primary instrument is my voice.
Okay.
Um, I started with the piano. It was a very long time before I ever performed with the piano. So I started performing with the guitar and then I picked up the banjo later. I came to the banjo because of living in North Carolina. When I first started making music in this way, in the when I started making folk music proper, um, my first guitar teacher was an old time flat picker, and he was teaching me fiddle tunes. And then he sent me out to the picking circles, and that's really how I learned to play. That was the context where I really fell in love with the banjo.
North Carolina is a good place to pick up finger picking, I imagine.
Yeah.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound.
You have written a song that has gotten a lot of notoriety in the past few years. Joan Baez covered it. Do you want to tell us more about that song? And from what I understand, the New York Times covered it this week.
I got name checked in the New York Times this week. So the song is called "The President Sang Amazing Grace," and I wrote it about Barack Obama singing "Amazing Grace" at the memorial for the people who were murdered in the attack on the Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston in 2015. I wrote the song the week after the 2016 election, put it on a record, and it went out and was played a good deal on folk radio. And Joan Baez happened to turn on her car radio in Berkeley, California, and she heard it and decided to cover it. So she sang it all over the place, all across the US and all over Europe. And there was a very beautiful hand drawn animated video that went along with her version. And that got a lot of attention. And then a children's book publisher in California got in touch with the guys who made the video and said, "We think this should be a children's book." So it is now a children's book. And then the Kronos Quartet heard Joan Baez's version of the song, and did an arrangement of it for their project honoring the life and work of Pete Seeger. And so the Kronos Quartet version, with the vocal by Meklit, who is an Ethiopian American singer based in San Francisco, their version has just come out. And then Thomas Friedman, in the New York Times op-ed page, built an op-ed about it this week, talking about that incident and what it meant to him and where he sees it pointing us now. It's been an amazing process, just putting this piece of work out there and having different people find it and add something to it and take it to places that I could not have taken it by myself. It's like skipping a stone over the water. When I wrote it, I had no idea where it would end up. I still have no idea where it will end up. It's been really an amazing journey, and I don't think it is over.
It appears, I mean, based on what you've just told me, that it keeps finding more and more life. And what a magical journey, and to have such a special song that is able to find feet like that and really just keep traveling and being able to share that with so many people. Congratulations. And then that song also received a big honor from Folk Alliance.
It was voted the Song of the Year in 2018.
And that was in Montreal?
That was in Montreal. I wrote it at the conference of the Northeast Regional Folk Alliance. I was in a hotel full of folk singers, and we were all having our feelings about the results of the election, and I knew I had to write something, but I did not know what it was going to be. So having that community and that sense of urgency, I think, helped the song happen. The first time I sang it in public was at the Sunday morning closing song circle at that conference. And 20 folk singers got up spontaneously and sang Amazing Grace with me.
Wow. You have a current project that you've been working on, and you're working with, you want to tell us about that?
Project is kind of a vague term. What I'm trying to do now is make new work. One of the things that I was thinking about as I tried to figure out, what comes next is I'm a solo act. I've been doing a lot of things by myself for a very long time, but I keep on meeting amazing people who are making amazing sounds. And I wanted to look into working with other people. So I kind of thought, well, I will approach people whose sound I like and see what happens. And the first one of what I hope will be a series of collaborations was with Windborne, the 4-piece vocal ensemble out of Vermont. I had a lyric and a tune, and it wasn't done. It needed something. And then I heard Windborne again at the Northeast Regional Folk Alliance. And I thought, it needs other voices. Right at the beginning of March, Windborne was wrapping up a tour in the UK, and they came and stayed with me for 2 days. And we worked out an arrangement of this song and drove across the moors to Brian Bedford's studio in West Yorkshire and recorded it. And then they went home. 2 weeks later, we were all in lockdown. But we have released just this single song, and I'm very pleased with the way it came out. And it's a joy to work with such beautiful musicians and to be able to create something a little bit larger.
It's an amazing thing that you're able to get that done in time for lockdown when.
Well, we were lucky. We got in just under the wire. I think it was really the last piece of real work that I did. We're all trying to figure out what comes next. They've been working on a new album that I think they're just about ready to put out. Life goes on.
Life does go on. Speaking of life going on, have you been doing many virtual concerts?
I did a first few concerts, and I realized that basically I had one show, and I was doing the same show over and over, and I didn't want to do that because when you're online, anybody can come, and I wanted to have something new to offer people I have about 12 people out there who will come to every show.
Mm-hmm.
I've been taking it slow and really concentrating on showing up and trying to make new stuff and reaching out to other people and hopefully coming up with some new stuff that isn't just my voice, but what uh, will become a larger collaboration.
Do you enjoy the idea of being able to be maybe a little more impulsive, more adaptable to a moment's notice with online content?
It hasn't happened for me yet. I tend, I mean, very occasionally I will have something that comes together fast.
Mm-hmm.
As a writer, I'm very workmanlike. And I will chip and chip and chip and chip and chip until I have something that I'm really happy with. The President Sang Amazing Grace is an outlier for me. It was a topical song. It was about what was going on in the world at the time. Most of what I write, some of it is also very topical, but it tends to be a bit less of the moment, or a bit less obviously of the moment. I mean, I can look through my songs and some of them I can say exactly, what was going on when I wrote that, but you wouldn't know it from listening to the song.
So as we jumped into COVID, a lot of us had to start learning things very quickly. Whether it be streaming music or the ability to collaborate with others. One thing that we all learned how to do was to wash our hands.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we learned how to wash our hands, but to methodically wash our hands. And I've heard it said that you have a song that has been very helpful to people.
When we were all singing Happy Birthday while washing our hands, I thought, well, surely there are other songs out there that will last you 20 seconds or 30 seconds. I've been lucky to play on Rich Warren's folk stage concert. He had me back 3 times.
Wow.
One of the things about the folk stage concert is you have to end on the dot because it is broadcast live, and he cues you when it's the last song, but you have to land that last song in a window of about 30 seconds. And so I realized that one of my usual closers has a chorus that runs just about exactly 30 seconds, and that the chorus and the verse run just about a minute. It's a song that grows more verses. I think every time I did Rich's show, I would do that one last and sing however many verses I needed to sing so that I could land that last song on the dot. So I wrote a new verse about washing your hands, and I made a little video of that. And if it gives people a break from Happy Birthday, that's great.
Can you sing that for us right now, that verse?
Okay. Life is too short to panic and stew, but washing your hands is a good thing to do, and it also protects against colds and the flu. So let's sing that song about underwear. Here's the chorus. Life is too short to fold underwear. Life is too short to play solitaire. Get off your duff, it's time to begin. There's good deeds to do and there's sins to be sinned, and there's not enough time to fit it all in. Life is too short to fold underwear.
All right. Well, with the election coming up this week, what do you hope to see come out of this election, regardless of the outcome?
My thought about the election is that whatever happens and however long it takes to happen, however long it takes to resolve and, come up with a result, we're all going to be here the next day. Every single one of us feeling the way we do, holding the opinions that we have. We're all still going to be here. And what I'm hoping for, I don't know where it will come from, but I am hoping that somehow we will find a way to stop spending all our time screaming at each other and take care of each other and collect the trash and run the schools and shovel the snow and do all those things that we were doing before. We are still a community, whether we like it or not. Figuring out how we can learn to trust each other again and act like a community is the most important work for all of us.
If you appreciate this content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Please ring the bell for notifications. Always click like and comment down below. Let us know what you're up to. And you can always find us at charliesopenmic.com, where you can find our Patreon link and help support the show. Now they're sleeping tonight near the border, in an abandoned big box store, with chain link cages and blankets for space. They sleep on linoleum floors, and they came here seeking asylum. They were torn from the arms of their moms. Now they're sleeping tonight near the border, in an abandoned big box store. They came here from Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. Parents did what a parent should do to escape from these brutal drug wars. And they came here seeking asylum. They were torn from the arms of their moms. Now they're sleeping tonight near the border, in an abandoned big box store. Congress does nothing, though they disapprove. For the press they will all shake their heads, but political threats trump moral regret, so they save their seats instead of children seeking asylum. They were torn from the arms of their moms. Now they're sleeping tonight near the border, in an abandoned big box store. The president, he blames the Democrats and demands that we build his wall, or continue to separate mother from child. We could end this with one single call. Still he ramps up his rhetoric to rally his base, to enrage a deplorable core. Now they're sleeping tonight near the border, in an abandoned big box store. Stand up for these children, and would you stand up for your own? If they had been torn away from you for the crime of not having a home, and they came here seeking asylum, they were torn from the arms of their moms. Now they're sleeping tonight near the border, in an abandoned big box store. Thank you for watching Charlie's Open Mic this week, and thank you to Zoe Mulford for sitting down and talking with us and sharing a little music. As always, please hit that subscription link down below. Please ring the bell for notifications. Always click like and comment down below. Let us know what you're up to. Maybe share your own music. And you can find us at charliesopenmic.com, where you can find our Patreon link to help support the show. Hey, and one more thing this week, please vote. It does matter who you vote for, so get out there and vote. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.